Hello, everyone. I'm supposed to introduce Commissioner Wright, but I do not see him in the room. So we'll give it a minute, but
What are you
I
still
don't
doing
see
here?
Getting ready to do my speech to Rick.
The Rick is in person this year, sir. You've got to go.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you. Whew. I miss being late by that much. And I got to use the old fake being in the office when your speech is about to start routine and have people follow you over on the Rick on video trick. So I hope you enjoyed the little video. Many thanks to the NRC's audio-visual team for their help and for taking my original idea and having some fun with it. Leon and Kevin and Kyle and Joe and Tyrus, who are in the room, will all agree that it was a fun video to make. We had a great time making it for you, too. So on top of that, although it was a wild ride from the NRC phone booth over to the elevator outside in the lobby over here, they did figure out a way to get me to the Rick. So with that, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the NRC's 2023 Regulatory Information Conference, being held in person this year after the world's 3-year battle with COVID. My name is David Wright, and I'm one of the 5 commissioners here at the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. For those of you who are tuning in virtually, you're missed, and I hope to see you in person again soon. You know, being the last plenary session of the morning puts me in a tough position because I'm between everyone in this room and lunch. But I'll do my best to keep things a little entertaining, informative, and as engaging as I can. Chair Hansen and Commissioner Barron, I enjoyed listening to your remarks. They were spot on and true to who you are. I know how difficult it is to prepare for these presentations. It's a long process, many thoughts, many revisions, but both of you did a great job. Being authentic is something I strive for myself, and I saw that from both of you in your remarks. You set a high bar this morning. While I'm at it, I also want to thank both of you, as well as Commissioner Caputo and Commissioner Kroll, for the working relationship we have as commissioners. On behalf of Team Wright, my team, I want to thank each of you and your staff for your availability and your willingness to work with our team towards solutions on the issues that come before us. We each bring different backgrounds and perspectives to the commission, which means we may approach issues differently, but that's a good thing. And now we have a full 5-member commission. That's a great thing. Me and my team look forward to the future working with each of you and your teams to accomplish good things on behalf of the American people and our international counterparts as well, to provide adequate protection to the public and the environment in the nuclear reactor and nuclear materials sectors. Speaking of team members, I want to take a moment and thank my team, Team Wright, for all they do in support of me and for the NRC on behalf of the American people. My staff is a very special group of people. We are family. We support each other, and I'm blessed by each of you every day, which makes it fun to go to work. My gratitude also extends to everyone else who has been a part of Team Right. Each of you has had an impact, each of you has made a difference, and you will always be a part of Team Right. But I must single out two people. My original Chief of Staff, Kathy Kanatis, who implemented the initial vision for our office, identified and hired people who aligned with that vision and would be an asset to our team, and laid the foundation that our office operates by today. So Kathy, thank you. I also want to thank Carol Lazar, my original legal counsel, who gave me great advice and insights into all things legal, including her replacement. And most important, who kept me out of trouble. So thank you, Carol. So if you know me, you know that I'm a sports guy. I love sports. So it should not surprise you when I use sports analogies or sports-related quotes in meetings, conversations, or in plenary remarks. Marv Levy, if it's not working, there we go. Marv Levy is a Hall of Fame former head coach of the Buffalo Bills, a team in the National Football League. To our international friends, that's American football. Buffalo's about, 400 miles, 650 kilometers from here. And let me tell you, it can be a very cold place to play football in December, January, and February. So many years ago, the Bills were about to play in a playoff game at the beginning of a stretch where they appeared in 4 consecutive championship games or Super Bowls. On that early playoff game day, Coach Levy took to the stadium microphone and asked the cold yet very boisterous Buffalo crowd, "Where else would you rather be?" It's not coming up. "Where else would you rather be than right here, right now?" To this day, that question is part of their pregame hype to get the crowd pumped up. In a similar way, Commissioner Caputo, to the way the song "Jump" is used before Badger football games at the University of Wisconsin. So that's how I feel today. There's no place I'd rather be than right here, right now. You know, public service is not for everyone, and working for the government at any level is a sacrifice. The wages you make as a government employee certainly fall short of what your counterparts make in the private sector, and working in government can be frustrating because issues and policy direction can change from one election to the next, and the wheels of decision-making can move painfully slow at times. But many of you knew that, and you still chose to work in government. That's because, and as I believe, public service can also be a calling and another way to serve your country. I know that's true for a lot of you out there in public service, whether it's in the federal government, state or local government, and even the military. Like those Buffalo fans on a freezing winter day, there are certainly other places you could be, other jobs you could be doing, and many of them might be more comfortable and come with a better paycheck too. But you chose government service, and I'm grateful for that. Personally, I know all too well myself that as you work and serve in government, your family serves with you as well. You're not in it for the money or for personal gain, but instead, you chose it for a noble reason, a calling or a cause. Maybe it was the desire to make something possible, or to make good things happen for your country, or to try and make things better for those around you. Regardless of the reason, be proud of what you're doing at work and for your country, because you are making a difference. What you do every day in your job matters. It matters to the government, it matters to the country, and it matters to many people around the world. So where else would you rather be than right here, right now, right? So thank you for your service and for your work too. And that goes for my family as well. You know, when I began preparing for today, my mind was full of more things than I could possibly cover in 30 minutes. That's because a lot has happened in the past 12 months, not just at the NRC, but in our daily lives as well. The people of Ukraine continue to be in our thoughts and prayers as we look and hope for an end to the unprovoked Russian aggression against the peaceful people of that sovereign country. We continue to experience the effects of COVID as we try to understand it, adapt to it, and make it part of our daily life. And then there's everything else. Cancers, heart disease, diabetes, mental health issues, addictions, family concerns, relationships, and stress. You name it. Some of the things we face may be life-threatening. Some of the things are life-changing. And all of it happens in our life daily. Sometimes we get overwhelmed with life events, or work, or both. It happens to all of us. Some of the things we face are bigger than we are too, and we need help. How we deal with it matters. To my NRC family, I'd like to take the opportunity again this year to direct you to the NRC's Employee Assistance Program, the NRC Staying Connected Team, SBCR, the advisory committees, the affinity and resource groups, and the EDO. These people and groups are there for you and are willing to help you. They can find you help in ways, they help you find many ways to address and deal with the challenges that you're facing every day, provide tips for maybe your work-life balance and other issues you may have. So I encourage you to reach out to them. Like I tell my close friends and those I serve as a mentor or accountability partner to, you can't possibly take care of the needs of others that you love and care about or those you work with every day if you're not taking care of yourself first. It's important. I want nothing but the best for you in every way. So please take care of yourself. Take time to relax. Laugh at something or laugh at yourself. I mean, I laugh at myself all the time. I'm like a comic book. Take a deep breath, exhale, walk away from your computer, your phone, and the work crisis of the moment. Just enjoy the world around you. I promise the work will still be there when you return. It always is. But your attitude and focus will be much improved. You know, each year that I have presented at the RIC, I've shared a little bit more about me, my family, and events in my life. If you've listened to or watched past RIC plenaries, you know that my dad, if I can get it to come up, my dad was a lifelong television and radio professional. He was a personality. A card-carrying professional golf association TV and radio announcer, and a stand-up comedian for 50 years. You know that my mom, a nurse by profession, and who was present and held the Bible when I was sworn in as commissioner in 2018, had a terrible battle with squirrels in her house in 2020. You know that I'm a proud pawpaw or granddad of a set of grand twins, a boy and a girl, if I can get that one, there we go, brought into this world by my younger daughter, Courtney, and her husband just over 4 years ago. You know that my oldest son, Austin, and his wife honored my family with a grandson, Hank Williams Wright, not quite 2 years ago. I found out last week that Hank will become a big brother sometime this coming November, too. You know that my youngest son, Andrew, who came home for spring break during the last semester of his senior year in college, on the same weekend that I did in March of 2020, never went back to campus because the world shut down from COVID-19. He graduated while he was at home and even became engaged and got married during the shutdown. You've learned that I'm a stage 3 colon cancer survivor, as is my oldest daughter, Kimberly. You also know that we pay it forward today by actively sharing our cancer experience with and encouraging others who have been recently diagnosed with or who are actively going through their own cancer battles. You know that I'm a baseball umpire, calling games for 49 years before COVID broke that streak in 2020. And you know that win or lose, I love all things Clemson University. You know, I graduated from there, that I walked on and earned my first varsity letter as a long-distance runner for the Tigers a half a century ago this year. Wow, 50 years ago, still feels like it was yesterday. And while I'm at it, go Tigers. Right? You know, March is an eventful month in my life, and that theme continued in 2022. A quick story. 1 year ago today, at almost this very minute, about 11:15 in the morning, during our staff meeting on the 18th floor of the NRC headquarters across the street, I got a call on my cell telling me that my home in South Carolina was flooded from the inside. Water meter work outside at the street caused the pressure to change in the pipes under my house and into my house, and a coupling ruptured under my kitchen sink. Water ran uninterrupted for 5 days before it was found. Needless to say, I lost a lot. My entire kitchen, my mudroom, breakfast room, floors, cabinets, walls, everything, very wet and ruined. It was depressing. For the last year, during the water mitigation and drying out of my home, the demolition and debris removal, and the design and build back, I had to deal with insurance adjusters, demolition crews, floor crews, cabinet and countertop people, and contractors from 500 miles away and in person. When at home in South Carolina, I lived on a microwave and a grill and lots of paper products. But every cloud has a silver lining, if not a rainbow. That personal home disaster also gave me a great reason to go on the road. I visited existing nuclear plants around the country. I visited the NRC regional offices. I visited some decommissioned sites. I toured a couple of DOE labs and some research and test reactors. And I visited Southern Company's Vogtle Unit 3 site twice, which, as you know, went critical for the first time last Monday. This was a significant milestone because it marked completion of the first new nuclear power plant in 30 years. The first time an AP1000 has been built under NRC's Part 52 framework. This photo here was taken from a recent visit to Vogtle where I hosted the French regulators. It was a good visit too. They wanted to try some southern food down south, so I took them to a restaurant where they shared an appetizer of fried green tomatoes filled with pimento cheese, and a couple of them ventured out and experienced shrimp and grits. That's what I had too. The meal was great and the company was even better. I also visited Romania, where in May I took part in the Small Modular and Advanced Reactor Workshop in Bucharest. Spent some valuable time with Chinacon President Cantemir Ciurea, and was part of a U.S. delegation that met with Romania's Prime Minister and other Romanian elected officials, and I visited the Cernavodă nuclear plant near Bucharest. That's also when and where, if you remember, the announcement of their partnership with NuScale was announced and made public. I must say the food along the way sure beat what had been coming out of my microwave. You know, the reconstruction work in my home is still not finished, but right before Christmas, I was able to begin things moving back into my kitchen. My daughters helped me get things looking good enough in the house so I could entertain them, my grandchildren, and my mom at Christmas, and that was awesome. That flood disaster is not the first time that life has thrown me a curveball. And one thing I'm sure of, it won't be the last curveball life throws at me either. The key, though, is not to panic when disasters or other bad things happen. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the sport of baseball, a curveball is a pitch thrown to a batter by a pitcher that spins in such a way that it curves either toward the batter or away from the batter or drops from top to bottom. When pitched, the intent of a curveball is to fool the batter into swinging early before the ball actually gets to the plate. One thing I know from working as an umpire is that a well-thrown curveball can make a batter look very silly and feel very foolish. Then there's the hitter, and a good hitter is not easily fooled. Good hitters can usually pick up the spin of a curveball as the pitcher releases it and can adjust the timing of their swing. They will either get just enough of the ball to foul it off and stay alive at the plate, or in that particular moment, have the patience and the discipline to stay back and wait for the ball to curve and then hit it for a base hit. By design, a curveball is not supposed to be an easy pitch to hit. That is, unless the pitcher makes a mistake throwing it. As a home plate umpire, I have the best seat in the house. So when a pitcher makes that mistake of hanging a curveball out over home plate, good hitters will punish the pitcher by hitting that baseball a very, very long way. I mean, many times out of the park, sometimes even out of the baseball stadium. In that moment, a good hitter can make a pitcher look very silly and feel totally helpless. Last year, the unprovoked invasion of Ukraine by Russia threw the world a curveball. Russia's intent was to make the rest of the world make mistakes, swing early, and look bad. Fortunately, that did not happen, and we and the Ukrainians are still alive at the plate and very much in the game today. But the unprovoked invasion did cause us and our global partners to pause and to take a hard look at ourselves as a country and reassess our connections, our partnerships, our supply chains, our internal needs, our resource needs, and our available resources. And what we learned was concerning, if not downright alarming. Here's just a few examples of issues in the energy realm that developed almost overnight following the unprovoked invasion of Ukraine by Russia. You had uranium supply and uranium source issues, fuel source supply for the development of advanced reactors, new fuels, and new fuel facility designs. We had rare earth and mineral sourcing concerns, safety concerns as a result of the attacks on and the illegal occupation of nuclear power plants in Ukraine, specifically the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, and the desire of many European countries to cut their energy ties with Russia and examine and determine what they would need in order to improve their own energy resilience. As you know, we're fortunate to have Mr. Rafael Grossi, Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, with us in the audience today. He gave remarks to the RIC earlier, if you know. So Director General Grossi, you've been on the forefront of efforts to keep the Zaporizhzhia plants stable and safe, and we thank you for everything that you, the IAEA, and the leaders of Ukraine are doing. On behalf of myself and a thankful audience, welcome to the RIC again, sir. I've also been told, and I haven't met him yet, but I know they're here, that the chairman of the State Nuclear Regulatory Inspectorate of Ukraine, Mr. Oleg Korakov, is here. Mr. Korakov, I can't even imagine what it's like trying to do your job in an active war zone. What I do know, though, is that our two countries have had a bilateral cooperation agreement since 1993. And I think it's safe to say that in the 30 years we've been working together, our relationship has never been more important. I look forward to continuing and strengthening our partnership with you. And again, for you, welcome to the RIC too. As a result of the war in Ukraine, because of the massive curveball thrown by Russia, decisions were made, timelines changed, and today there are many more countries around the world looking to the United States to help them meet their energy needs and goals through new and existing nuclear technologies than there were just a year ago. Those countries, as well as stakeholders within our own borders, vendors, agencies, and the Congress, are looking to the NRC to develop, review, and approve a regulatory pathway for these new and advanced technologies sooner rather than later so they can get to market, and for good reason, too. The NRC must do our part and get it right without compromising safety and without delay. The time to meet the moment is upon us. It's important on many levels: energy security, grid security, energy resilience, national security, and even global security. If we don't meet the moment, our success and success of other countries will be at stake. And if we fail to meet the moment, our adversaries will certainly try to take advantage. We can't afford for that to happen. As I mentioned earlier, NuScale has a deal with Romania. The Romanian regulator must be prepared, ready, and able to review and inspect that design. Their success involves and requires the NRC's timely assistance, and that moment is upon us. Poland has selected the Westinghouse AP1000, and they're considering other advanced technologies as well. The Polish regulator must also be prepared, ready, and able to review and inspect whatever technologies are ultimately chosen in their country. Their success involves and requires the NRC's timely assistance, and that moment is upon us. Here at the NRC, we're working with our Canadian counterparts through a memorandum of cooperation, which involves performing a technical review of portions of the advanced design by Terrestrial, as well as other advanced technology designs by X-Energy and GE Hitachi, in hopes that a collaborative effort will result in a more streamlined and effective licensing process versus just going it alone. I believe it'll do just that, and I support this effort. The success of our collaboration with Canada, hopefully, will lead the way to other multilateral arrangements for this and other designs around the world. Success with the CNSC requires the NRC's timely and active engagement, and that moment is upon us. The United States government is actively working with countries like mine around the world to source and build new nuclear projects, both big and small. And our government's success requires the NRC's timely assistance. And that moment is upon us. Here, at home in the United States, there's a great deal of activity in the nuclear sector, as well as in the entire energy sector. Carbon reduction goals have been set in many countries around the world, but also by states and even local governments here in this country. We must recognize, and I believe this to be true, that successfully achieving these goals will not be possible without existing nuclear, new nuclear, and advanced nuclear being a part of the generation mix, today and going forward. As a safety regulator, what does all this mean to the NRC? It means absolutely everything. And there's no better place to be than at the NRC right here, right now. I believe the NRC is made for this moment. Our international counterparts are preparing to meet the moment too. Russia has hung a curveball out over the plate, and the world needs to hit it to the moon. Overall success, though, be it in the United States or around the world, involves and requires the NRC to meet the moment, and that moment is upon us. Meeting the moment will involve and require the NRC to continue its transformation. Doing things a certain way because that's the way we've always done it is a proven recipe for failure. A person, much less an agency, cannot grow if they stay where they've always stayed and continue doing things the way they have always done them. Applicants, licensees, and ultimately members of the public pay us for our reviews and our oversight too. So we have a fiduciary responsibility to be timely in our reviews and responsible in the use of our resources. It's also good business, and why our efficiency principle of good regulation says, quote, "The American taxpayer, the rate-paying consumer, and licensees are all entitled to the best management and administration of regulatory activities," end quote. As I see it, the NRC and us as regulators are not supposed to disable the use of nuclear, but instead we are to enable the safe use of nuclear. The NRC's Office of Nuclear Reactor Regulation, NRR, has a motto that says, quote, "Make the safe use of nuclear power possible," end quote. They're doing that every day as they oversee the safe operation of the nation's 93 operating reactors, and as they engage the 15 vendors that are also involved in pre-application activities for new and advanced reactors. They're not alone either, because NRC's Embark Studio, a creative incubator for transformation, innovation, and change within our own walls, has the motto of, quote, "Enabling the safe use of nuclear power," end quote. One of the ways they're doing that is by developing internal and external mission analytics portals or maps that will allow the NRC technical reviewers to receive data and information they need to conduct their reviews in a faster, more streamlined manner. These tools should bring significant time and cost savings for both the NRC and applicants by helping us to share information more readily. Those two mission statements speak to the fact that we need to be externally aware of what's happening around us and be responsive to that moment. Meeting the moment involves and requires the NRC to innovate, Safety is our mission. Reasonable assurance of adequate protection is the standard. That's the floor and the ceiling and our strike zone over home plate. It's non-negotiable. How we do things, though, at every level should always be up for debate. And we should think about ways to be innovative, novel, and transformative to improve effectiveness and the efficient use of resources in tackling those issues that come before us. Congress challenged the NRC to create a flexible, simpler, all-inclusive regulatory pathway for the various new and advanced reactor technologies being contemplated, or who are before us now and wanting to get to market. This is an opportunity for the NRC to meet the moment that is upon us and accomplish what I know we can accomplish if we work together. That would be a new, novel, transformative, risk-informed regulatory framework for advanced reactors, 10 CFR Part 53. And it's time to meet that moment because the rulemaking package is now in front of the Commission. To actually meet the moment and Congress's challenge is going to require the NRC staff and the Commission to think outside of the box, to be risk-informed and not just risk-averse. In the end, Part 53 has to be a regulatory pathway that is usable and useful to the applicants and the technologies it is being created for. And I know we can do it. Meeting the moment it involves and requires the NRC to collaborate. You know, the Department of Energy, our sister agency in a way, is the promoter and salesman of all things in the energy sector. And they've picked some winners in the advanced reactor space and funded them too. X-Energy and TerraPower are two of them. So it should come as no surprise to the NRC that we must get ready for them and be ready for them. And we're going to have to do it quickly. Just about 2 weeks ago, on March 1st, X-Energy and Dow Chemical signed a joint development agreement to build a 4-unit XE100 reactor facility on the Gulf Coast by 2028. We have NGOs and trade associations actively involved before us on behalf of advanced technologies of every size and shape, as well as fusion. And they're telling us of the importance and the urgency for the NRC to meet the moment. Speaking of fusion, by the way, I'm happy to say that I'm one of the commissioners who recently voted on a framework that would establish a risk-informed, efficient, and predictable path toward regulating the safe use of fusion in the United States. You know, while it's true that the NRC is a safety regulator, we are not insulated in doing our job or in meeting our mission either. We are an independent agency, yes, but as stated in our principles of good regulation, we are not supposed to do our job in isolation. We must openly seek all available facts and opinions from all our stakeholders. We have to be externally aware of what is happening around us too, such as the national and international goals of the administration and the Congress, the goals and work of DOE and other federal agencies and departments, and the plans and timelines of utilities in this country who are considering or looking to build advanced technologies. We must maintain an awareness of and engage early with potential applicants so that we better understand what the NRC may need in order to review and license their proposed technology. This means NRC collaboration, NRC involvement, and possibly even NRC learning from others will be required. Bottom line, it's an exciting time to be a safety regulator. As I begin to close, let me ask you a question. Are you ready to do something special? We can do it right here, right now. We can create and put in place a simpler, all-inclusive, risk-informed, performance-based licensing framework for advanced reactors, SMRs, and other technologies to enable the safe use of nuclear power through these new and advanced technologies to make a difference here in the United States and around the world. You and we have that special opportunity and time right here, right now. The Russian curveball certainly brought more attention to and more focus on the need for and the purpose of these new technologies. Now the time has come to meet the moment and hit that hanging curveball out of the park. So, where would you rather be than right here, right now? Personally, I can think of no better place to be than working alongside all of you as we meet this moment. To my NRC colleagues, my fellow commissioners, I appreciate your dedication and your commitment to serve our country, and I look forward to our work together. To our international counterparts, I am confident the NRC will continue to do our part to help you meet the energy goals you've set as we look to meet the moment, this moment in time with you. To my NRC family, the staff of this great agency, we have an incredible opportunity in time to do something special, something that will have a positive impact here at home and provide energy opportunities, energy security, and energy resilience in the countries of our allies around the world. In addition, on top of all the focus and work in the new and advanced reactor space and Part 53, the NRC has other opportunities to meet the moment too. There's work on accident-tolerant fuels, a renewed focus on uranium and rare earth metals here in the United States, new safety and training updates as the results of advances in nuclear medicines, treatments, and therapies, and the potential to license companies with technologies that can clean up legacy mining sites and return these sites to greenfield state, just to name a few. Here in the United States and with our allies around the globe, together we can meet this moment, this unique and special opportunity in time, and through our work, do our part to help provide energy security, energy resilience, grid security, and national security, not just here in the United States, but in allied countries around the world. It's an exciting time to be a safety regulator, and why there is no place I would rather be than right here, right now, working alongside all of you as we meet this special moment in time. Thank you very much for your kind attention, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the RIC.
You prefer to stay? You prefer to stay at the podium, or you
sure.
like to?
It's just you and me,
Yep, you can sit here, and I
and
will
a
sit.
couple of thousand of our closest friends.
All right, I'll get right to it. First question, you said it's important that we don't disable nuclear power. Could you expand on that?
Well, we don't disable the use of nuclear, right? I mean, we're challenged, and I think it's in the documents that founded this great agency that we are enablers of the safe use. So it's part of who we should be. Now it has to be safe. That's our mission. We have to be safe. But we, especially today, especially in today's world, it's a unique time. It's a special moment. And if we don't get it right here, and y'all are the smartest people in government, probably in the world, in this room. So if we can't do it, I doubt it can get done. But I have total confidence that y'all are up to the task, and that's what I'm pulling for.
Okay. Second question, during your international travels, what sort of challenges did you notice that regulators are facing?
Wow, that's a good question. So one of the things that we're blessed with here is we're well funded. We have the technical expertise we need. We have the people that we need to do the work that we need to do. In other countries, especially those that are starting up, right? They've got to be a strong regulator. So they've got to be in position to be a strong independent regulator. The independence is critical, but they've got to be well funded. In some countries, like in Romania, I'm not picking on Romania, but just I was there and I saw it and learned about it firsthand. They don't get all their fees. So when they collect fees, half of it goes to the government. And the state utility over there pays about 5 times more than what the people that work for the regulator do. So they're poached, right? And by not just the state utility, but by other countries. So I think it's important that wherever we can help, we need to make sure that the message that not only do you need to be a strong regulator and with good people, but you've got to and independent, but you've got to be funded. You've got to be able to do what you need to do.
Okay, next question. You mentioned the importance of public service in your remarks.
Yes.
what's something we can do as an agency to help our people feel appreciated and proud about public service?
Well, that's a great question. It's a good softball question for me, by the way. When I got here, and a lot of you know this story, I think as soon as I could get a map of the layout of White Flint, I started walking floors, right? I started going to see people where they worked and lived every day in their cubicles or in their office. And I didn't go in and say, hi, I'm Commissioner Wright. I just said, I'm David, how you doing? And we just talked about small stuff, right? I looked in their office to see what football team they supported or artwork from their grandkids or their kids. I saw pictures of where they traveled. I got to speak to them and just in a normal way, right? And then a lot of them, gave me comments like, how'd you get in the building? Who are you? I did get asked, Laura, you'll appreciate this, I got asked where I came from, and I did say, well, technically Region 2, that's what I told them. But it gave me an opportunity to bond with them in a way, and even today I go to softball games and dance recitals, and I spend time with their children and them outside of the agency, and my staff especially, but others as well. And so they see me as a regular guy, right? So that allows me to share with them and show appreciation, right? And I think that once a person is valued and you give them respect and compassion, that builds trust. Okay, that fosters a relationship that is an open relationship. So in our agency, that's what we can do. We've got to be able to reach out and touch people. And if we're not reaching out and touching people and empowering them, then we're missing an opportunity.
Okay. Next question. What is an area of technical expertise where we need to hire more people?
Well, I think it's health physicists in a way. I mean, I think that's a problem around the world. So we've got to do, and I know that we're focused on trying to get the word out, but we've got to encourage where we can our university systems out there, maybe even our tech schools and stuff too, to get the basic trainings in there so that these people, there's going to be a huge need of them going forward because dose is a big thing, right? So, the technical experience there is something I know we need. Now, what I don't know is what I don't know, right? And these technologies that are coming in, that's the importance of early engagement. We'll find out, is there something, a need that we're lacking, a technical expertise that we need, and how to acquire that and how to train them up. Our in-ranners that we've got right now, they're hungry. They want to learn, they want to do, but it takes 2 to 3 years for them to get just basic trained, But what's lacking is the experience over time that comes. So you've got seasoned people, in the agency who know where all the bones are buried. The in-ranners don't know that yet. And it's going to take time for that. So that's a weakness in the agency right now that needs, we can't do that really in a virtual environment. You've got to be able to have that water cooler conversation. You've got to be able to have those casual post meetings. Let's chit chat or have a hamburger or something like that, right? So
We've got about a minute left, so I wanted to let you know people are saying love the entrance. This is so cool, and that's all caps. So people really enjoyed the entrance.
Well,
So
thank
let's
you
let
so
you
much.
know that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to thank you for your remarks. And with that, I close the session. Go have some lunch.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Nice job. It went well. It was very